Welcome to this week's edition of MTA Queensland Industry Newsletter. A real pleasure to be standing with our dealer principal, Peter Deaver from Supermerc, but Peter's of course also one of our most active chairs of the divisions. Peter, how's the industry?
Well, we continue to be in a period of uncertainty and unknowns from a point of view of what COVID has created for the industry. A severe shortage of stock continues to hamper businesses' abilities to trade, and that just seems to be never ending at the moment.
So hard to get stock? Tell me, everything I read about used car prices is that they're up.
They're up, and everyone has their theory as to why they're up. There are several. Probably the one that's least publicised is the number of expat Australians that returned to Australia since COVID started, which has now breached 500,000.
Wow.
If 1 in 2 arrived back in Australia and had to buy a motor vehicle, that sucked 250,000 used vehicles out of the marketplace. And that's before you start talking about the lack of ability of new car dealers to deliver stock.
Yeah, I was going to add that.
And actually provide a used vehicle back into the wholesale arena. So, as I said, it's very challenging times. Quality used vehicles, when they do appear in the market, are keenly fought over, and in an auction environment, does one thing, just pushes the prices up.
In a sense, a nice problem to have, but it's not a nice problem if you can't find the cars, I guess.
No.
So there's lots of things washing through the industry, Peter, some really big changes. I noticed government's commissioned a trading hours review. MTA Queensland certainly talking to our members about what their view is. The key issue for our industry, of course, is this prospect or not of 7-day trading. What's your industry's view?
Well, the industry as such has been opposed to it for many years. I mean, the idea is supposed to be a good thing. However, most players in the industry would agree with me that having 7-day trading is going to do nothing else other than spread the same number of vehicles you sell in a month over a 7-day period rather than a 6-day period, and just add to your overheads without producing any sort of firm positive results.
Oh, that's good. It's a really clear position. And I guess when it's hard enough already to find staff, covering that 7th day just means the same people are working longer.
Well, that's right, particularly for small businesses like this. Yeah. I certainly relish having time off. Yep. And we only work a 5.5 day week. We close at 1 o'clock on a Saturday. And the prospect of trading on 7 days, no, it's certainly not something I'd be considering.
No, well, thank you. And that's certainly the MTA Queensland's position, and we're talking to our members across the state. The other thing you've been a leading thinker about has been this government's parliamentary review into written-off vehicles. What are you hoping to achieve from government decisions around that?
Well, it would be nice if they would actually make a positive decision, because at the moment we have very little information other than that repairable write-offs are supposed to cease in Queensland supposedly from the 31st of March next year. The recent report to Parliament from the Parliamentary Transport Committee sent a mixed message from a point of view. They basically wanted the Minister to reconsider his position on the removal of repairable write-offs as an option for the industry. And to date, there's been no further comment from the Minister in relation to how that is going to proceed. Thinking the whole issue through, there should be a sunset period announced so that anyone purchasing a repairable write-off has the time to get it repaired and passed before this supposed 31st of March deadline.
Okay, so make no mistake, MTA Queensland's position is, as Peter's touched on, we are pushing government really hard to ensure that decisions are made about prohibiting vehicle write-offs and really picking up the New South Wales provisions is the stuff we're after. They seem to be the strongest in the industry. So we're in the automotive industry, Peter. Tell me about this car. Can I buy it for what? 100,000, 50,000?
No, it's not for sale.
Not for sale? Tell us about the car.
It's a hot rod. It's a replica 1932 Ford pickup. It's powered by a 350 Chev with a turbo 350 auto. It's just a bucket list thing to add.
Your car?
Yes, my car. One of a few that I have in my collection.
I can see it in the background. So that's what our industry is about. It's about great characters, good leaders, and fantastic cars. See you next week.